All right.
All
We are
right.
live. Michael Colina, how are you?
Ching, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Did you ever consider being an actor? You're a composer.
I considered being a bombardier on an airplane. I, I considered being a dancer.
Oh yeah.
I considered being a dress designer. I
Wow.
considered being an architect, and finally settled upon being a composer.
Well, composer is such a profound occupation. Uh, very very I don't know, just like they say they say architecture is frozen music, right? So
Yes.
so the music is a music is frozen architecture. So can you imagine like what is a composer? Composer is beyond frozen music, right?
Well, it's another language.
Yeah.
It certainly has to do with structure, time, and space. The emotional, I don't want to say distortion, that's not quite the right word, but meddling with time, space, emotion.
Right.
Um, and when I was a young boy of 9, 10, 11, 12, composers, this was 1963. Bernstein was a huge name in music. There was the Lincoln Center was just being built and opened.
Yeah.
Classical music was seen in the White House, you
Oh.
know, and there was print articles about music
Yeah.
in the mainstream, and so it made it seem like a great thing to be doing. That it
Yeah.
would be have prestige and honor and integrity, beauty,
Yeah.
and well, I think I got gypped because it
How
turns out to be quite different now. The role of a composer.
Right. I want to say hello to our friends. Jeffrey. Jeffrey James is here. Can you see on your right hand side? There's a list of people comment.
Oh
Jeffrey
no,
said,
I'll have to turn that on, don't I?
okay. Yeah. Jeffrey
Ah,
said, and there you are, looking good. And you have a
okay.
Quintet of the America. Hi, Quintet.
Hi.
Sean, my son is on.
Oh, okay.
Sean Juhl is a very good violist. He's a third year at Juilliard.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Well, good
great
for him.
violist. Yeah, he does all the practice for me. I don't practice anymore. And we have a stiffer too. SLAVA. Hello. Who is stiffer too?
That is Stephen Sherrill.
Oh, stiffer.
Steve, right? And Stephen is an old friend of mine from the North Carolina.
Oh,
I think,
yeah. But
right? Is that you, Stephen? Can you shake your head?
yeah,
No.
Stephen. Yeah, they
And
they can write. They can.
he's a musician, trombone player,
Wow,
copyist, publisher.
that's
He worked for the Atlanta Symphony for years and years.
wow. That's wonderful. So I'm going to read a partial your short bio.
Oh,
Michael Colina is a multiple Grammy winning composer and producer based in New York. Colina's compositional voice is the result of a unique confluence of style,
confluence. Yeah.
uh, embracing classical jazz and Latin influences. Colina's youth was spent traveling between the US and Cuba, exposing the young musician to the sounds of Latin music as well as soul and gospel from America's South. He also immersed himself in classical music, studying composition at the North Carolina School for Arts and Vittorio Giannini. I don't know how to pronounce.
Giannini.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Louis, Mennini, and Robert Ward. he continued study at what is it?
Chigiana.
Chigiana in Siena. I love Siena, Italy, and was the first recipient of the Vittorio Giannini. Sorry, it's too many now. Sorry. Memorial Scholarship Award. So you can view the entire bio in our description below. Thank you so much. So yeah, so tell us a little bit about your upbringing, Michael. Where were you born? How did you start to fiddle around with music and composing?
Well, I mean, I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was adopted by a wonderful Cuban man and a beautiful Southern belle, um, Marguerite Colina and Gilbert Colina. And he came to the U.S. Um, when he was like 14 years old and went to high school in Asheville, North Carolina. And it cost him $200 a year. So anyway, they had me, and this in the 1950s and early 60s, we would go back and forth to Cuba, which was open nation at that time. But soon, in about 1967, 68, there was a huge revolution and a switch over to communism. After that, we could no longer go. We were, as a family, caught up in the fighting in Cuba, down in Trinidad, and Casilda, my father's hometown. And after that, my mother said, "I'm never going there again." She hid under the bed most of the time during the violence. And of course, I crawled out on the balcony to see what I could see, the streets that was going on. And anyway, we never went back until my father was 80 years old in 1999. And this pilgrimage I took back with him was something that re-illumined my cultural heritage and, audio heritage. I don't know what other way to put it, but the music and rhythms of Cuban culture re-emerged in certain pieces of my music. I had already gone through a long phase of producing jazz, R&B, and pop music in the 1980s and 90s. And by then, I was ready to return to my classical music, which I had stopped writing when I was 27, and I started working in the jazz world, working for Warner Brothers and GRP and all those labels, which were so innovative and exciting during that time. So I don't know. I think I've plowed through a whole bunch of stuff there.
Okay, I'll make a short suggestion, a little suggestion.
Sit still.
No, right now, don't get too close to the screen. Okay, don't not too close. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and then don't touch the computer because your screen is moving around.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that irritating?
You're making me dizzy. Okay, so yeah, Michael. So I have a couple of clips of your music. Shall we play something for our audience now, and we keep talking? What would you like to play?
Well, sure.
Yeah, which one?
Oh, Lord, audio, not video, right?
Either way is fine.
Really?
Yeah, I can play video.
Well, let's see. I gave you piano concerto and
yeah,
and then How about play
Huh?
Paradisum from the Requiem. It's a video clip of about 3 minutes, and it's from my Requiem that was recorded in with the Royal Scottish National Orchestra in 2014, and I think I cut together this video to the music to try to express a little more of what's going on in the music. And anyway, this is the climax of the Requiem.
Is it called
Paradisium. In
wait, it, wait, sorry. I'm trying to read the notes. I have, sorry, dear. I have, oh, yeah, I saw it. Paradisian. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. From the beginning and make it screen.
the end.
Beautiful.
Yay!
Beautiful. So, tell us more about their work.
This piece, the Requiem, is it's in 14 movements. It uses four of the traditional pillars of the Latin Mass. The Paradisium, the Credo, the Sanctus, and one more piece that I can't remember offhand, but the other movements are created by me having explored the literature of the last 500 years from, say, the poet Rumi, the Persian ecstatic poet, and to oh God, that's age getting in there. E. Cummings, a bunch of English-speaking poets that seem to complement the pillars of the Latin Mass, and these other pieces filled in the without getting too deep into the Catholicism of a Mass. One of the other pieces that I brought that has a video to go with it is called I Believe. And I think that would be a very interesting piece to play, maybe, I don't know, a minute and a half of. And it has a beautiful poetry that talks about the possibility of the impossible occurring. I think the best thing to do is just to share it.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I do.
Well, go ahead and play it. I think people will get the idea by about a minute and a half of what it's contributing.
Sure.
I have to believe that you still exist somewhere. That you still watch me sometimes. That you still love me I have to believe that life still has meaning. That I am still useful here sometimes. That I can make small differences somewhere.
Should I stop?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to stop. So nice.
Yes. Well, okay. This is a beautiful poetry that uses somehow, someplace, somewhere in reference to a lot of ephemeral occurrences in our life, and with the ultimate hope that we, as spirit beings, human beings, will meet again someday. I think that is a theme that occurs deeply in most cultures. Anyway, I thought it was such a lovely piece
Yep.
of literature that it so simple, so beautiful that it was important to include in this Requiem.
Yeah, and it's a very appropriate in many occasions, right? Because people lose lives in different times and different movements or conflict. So your music is very powerful. And so tell us a little bit. Now, I know you're a little bit. I know a little bit about your background. Your father is a Cuban. So where is the music to kick in? Like, when did you start to have a training in music?
Ah,
How?
okay. I started having piano lessons when I was 9 years old, but I had always been fascinated when going to other people's homes, my cousin or um, aunts and uncles, obviously, who had pianos. And I would go immediately to the piano in the house as a little 4 year old, 5 year old, hop up on the piano stool and start banging on it. I'm sitting at my piano. And pretty much that was what I played back then, some 70 years ago. And I would call that a piece like that. I would just name it. Whatever noise I made, I'd name it.
Yeah.
So this was called Mother Sweeping Off the Front Porch, which in North Carolina was a pretty important act to be doing during the day. And
Can you knock on some keyboards for us now?
well, yeah, I can knock them. So anyway, I accompany my own self.
Nice.
Don't make me do that again now.
Nice.
But so yes, I began then studying piano. At first, it was not focused, and I lost in interest because the piano teacher was teaching me how to play Anchors Away and all these military songs, and very strange. When in fact I wanted to play Bach. And,
Military songs.
well, yeah, Anchors Away and in the halls of Tripoli, and I don't know, caissons go rolling along. That wasn't that's what they taught me with. And then I got a teacher who was, focused and a technician and lovely lady who maybe wasn't the greatest pianist in the world, but was very inspiring. So on I went until about 15 years of age, and then there was this small miracle that occurred in North Carolina with Governor Terry Sanford and a composition teacher from New York, Juilliard, with Vittorio Giannini. They got funding and sort of approval from the boys in North Carolina to make an art school. It was the first state-sponsored art school in any state in America, sponsored by state funding. That was very unusual. Anyway, I went not the inaugural year, but the second year, and I think my friend Steve and Pam Hewitt, who's sitting out there, Kathy Fitzgerald, that we all went there as dancers, musicians, actors, actresses. Um, and at the time, it was innovative in that we were allowed to contribute to designing our own courses, how they would present it, how they would be presented to us. And it was called the Tippy Toes School for Dancers by the boys. Uh, I'm referring to our North Carolina brethren. And anyway, went 4 years there, and then we had summer programs that would go to Italy. We studied, had a summer program at the Chigiana in Siena, Italy. Just a gorgeous thing, and a wonderful orchestra that would tour around. Blah blah. So it was great fun. I formed relationships with people whom I'm still close to today, 60 years later, or something like 55 years later. The most important relationships of my life were with these beings, young artists who have gone on to contribute greatly to the artistic scene in America and in Europe and in South America. Um, it was really, I was a lucky man to have that experience.
Thank you. Thank you. So, how do we describe your compositional style? Or you have one, or you have many?
I see what we don't have focused on is some of the more Latin influenced pieces.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Just the luck of the draw. Well, sorry, next show we'll do one of those. But I, in being exposed to classical music and growing up in North Carolina, we also had R&B, and we had jazz, and all kinds of music. So there is no one type that I would put myself in a pigeonhole.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I have an amalgam of different styles put together, and it's very difficult to pin it down what it is exactly. I mean, we've heard some what sounds like to me Western European art music from the last 100 years. So I also clearly write jazz music and Latin influenced music, meaning dance rhythms like the mambo and the tango, and those Afro Latin rhythms influencing the music.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of words about music that's inadequate. So I think going to my website or SoundCloud, you can hear a wider range of the music that I write. As a matter of fact, the Grammys that I won were as a producer in the jazz field, and one in the Latin music Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
So even that was being recognized in alternative musical styles.
Yeah, I'm going to show your website right now, okay? Because it's very nice.
Okay.
Yes, website recording.
All right.
Let's see, here is Michael's website.
Really?
Yeah, recording videos here. Did you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So there's the first one is called IDORU Trio, or New Artist Trio.
The New Arts Trio.
Piano trio, huh?
Piano Trio, and they recorded my Iduru Piano Trio on one of their albums. I produced that.
Mm.
And then the Requiem, you see, and then Anna Claudia Levine played my flute piece called Isle of Shoals. I mean, you know it already.
Then
Oh,
you have,
violin concertos.
mm, yeah,
Jaeger.
I saw that you have video of you rehearsing. Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's really nice. That's the violinist. See,
Yes. Uh-huh.
she's lovely. Then you have some jazz. Hey, you know what? You can. Let's see if I can click to see to hear. Okay,
I don't know.
let's
Try
see.
it.
Let's see. Wait.
Anything playing? No.
No, no,
No.
no. It's a fake click. Wait, wait.
Sorry about that.
It's a fake click.
Anyway, there's
That's a lot of
George
recordings.
Benson and Bob James. And one of my favorites here is Clara Rockmore, one of the great Russian theremin player. Hey, go back. Yeah,
Oh,
there.
there, here,
Nah, go
here.
back. Yeah, there she is.
Oh, okay.
She's on the far right.
Oh, okay.
Her theremin. She worked with Dr. Theremin.
Oh,
He was also part of the Soviet spy, anti-Soviet spy
wow.
back then. Anyway, I'm so proud of that piece of work. I recorded and produced that with Bob Moog.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Why they put a fake click here?
I think
Maybe
actually just
maybe it's because
they've
it's
expired and they need to be redone. I'm sure
Uh-huh.
this is not that interesting to the
you
audience
know what?
right now, but
I am going to go into I'm gonna go into your uh hold on one second. Okay, let me get out of here. Get out of here. So
I
yeah, stop and share. So shall we listen to some other works first?
okay.
The one you picked. Let's see. It's called SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is,
I have black and white.
yes, let's talk about black and white.
Okay, so tell us about what
Black
it
and white is the piece that I'm working on now.
Mhm.
It's an oratorio in an older sense, in that it has orchestra, chorus, and soloists, and it's basically I'm using um, the spiritual songs from the civil rights
Mhm.
music, which basically traditional um, uh, tunes. I always thought of the music sung and marched to as part of the energy and inspiration and fire of the civil rights music. And so I wanted to write a piece using those works and transforming them. Uh, I started this work maybe 5 years ago, and just haven't been going along at a very quick pace. But anyway, the piece I have is is a demo of the work of the first piece called Black and White. It was written by me and Venice Thomas. Did you
Okay.
hear whistling? That was a very puppy-like.
Okay.
Anyway, you didn't get it. Okay, so why don't we play
Yeah.
that entire
Yeah.
song?
Yeah.
There's no video, it's just the demo.
They can see this kind of image.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Black and white.
Now,
What?
turn it down.
Oh, it's too loud.
Too loud. Keep going.
Better? Is that okay?
I'm looking photograph. This one's black and white. I was just a little girl, and I hadn't learned to fight. I remember writing to my mom. She held me in her arms, and I still hear her whispering, child's names can't do no harm. I've waited all my life to see the changes come, but it seems I've got a while to wait before there's peace for everyone. I close my eyes and visualize past I've left behind. Sultry nights and civil rights come back and haunt my mind. When I let myself go back in time, I know I've altered my beliefs. Way back in time. And I found that love is colorblind, and truth the only face I see. I've waited all my life to see the changes come, but it seems I've got a while to wait before there's peace for everyone. Looking at these photographs, the memories still strong. The anger, pain, hope, the joy, they all seem to belong. Mama's voice comes back to me with words of comes back. I'd like to think I've learned somehow there's more to life than black and white. Oh, I've waited all my life to make this dream be mine. For peace to come to all mankind, Lord, just let it come in time.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Well,
Okay, hold on.
that's the idea. That's a demo of the piece, as I am envisioning it. And I have a number of other pieces that are demoed, but we're not going to be
Mhm.
listening to them at this time. But anyway, yeah. I also have another piece that I've been working on for 7 years. Um, it's a piano concerto, and I am in talks with the Florida Orchestra down in Tampa at the campus of the University of South Florida, in hopes of um, having it performed and recorded. And the distinction about this is that there would be, it's a 5 minute, five movement piano concerto with individual soloists for each movement. And I was working in conjunction with Rebecca Pennies, who is a master pedagogue of the piano, taught at Eastman School of Music, and she is and Chautauqua Music Festival, and she works with the wonderful pianists from all over the world and has a summer program. So I have this piece that is the work that is finished, but I'm hoping to get it performed in the near future. So if you would like to play a little bit of that, it's the second movement of the piano concerto, and I don't want to.
You want do you want to play the theme on your own piano for us?
No,
No.
I know a good pianist when I hear them, and I'm not one of them. So,
Okay, sure. I'll share that.
okay, so
Okay.
let's listen to 3 minutes of that, and
Sure.
it's the second movement from Michael Colina's
Uh-huh.
second piano concerto.
Okay. Soundtrack. Let me know if it's too loud or too soft.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the whole movement is 10 minutes long, right?
Yeah, no, that's plenty. You get the idea. It's just getting ready to, that was the intro.
Mm, beautiful. So now, when you write for piano concerto,
Yeah.
how difficult it is? Like, are you a pianist or you play other instruments?
No, I'm a pianist.
Where are you?
Around with other. Um,
You're a pianist.
I I'm minored in piano
Uh-huh.
and majored in composition, so
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
nowhere near the proficiency of a real pianist, but
You can fool around.
I know lots of stuff about the piano. So, is it difficult? Back in when I was in 11th grade, I wrote my first piano concerto, and for the high school orchestra, and they performed it in front of the school assembly. And from then on in the high school, I was like, everybody thought I was a genius or something. But really, what happened was I had 2 or 3 friends in the orchestra. I had a trumpet player who was my best friend, and then the timpani player was my next best friend. So when you go back and listen to the performance, it's just a whole bunch of timpani and trumpet and piano with the strings and winds trying to get their part in, and it was really funny.
Yeah.
Now, but anyway, at the time, I knew how to make it sound good and make me sound good.
Yeah.
And it was a whole lot of fun. It was the first summer I had been off to music camp, and I met a good friend of mine who was the percussionist, Lynn Bernhardt, who ended up spending his career at the Metropolitan Opera playing with some of the great artists and singers of today, and conductors, and recently retired up in North Carolina, and I want to wish him well. We miss you, Lynn. And what was the point I was making? Oh, piano.
Yeah.
So 40 years later, I'm writing my next piano concerto, and I think it will be infinitely better than the first one. Yeah.
So when I listen to your music, I hear some, so-called classical composers kind of, feel for it.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, it reminds me a little bit Rachmaninoff, but tell me it's not right. So what is it? It's kind of silly question to ask, but I ask anyway. Like, do you have some classical composers really had a huge impact on you?
Wow.
You don't.
I mean, yes, there were many composers that deeply, deeply influenced me. And I think for the boomer musician group, who some are sitting out there in the audience, and I think we were influenced by the recordings of Bernstein and the reinterpretation and really of Mahler symphonies, and he was rediscovered, so to speak. So I think Mahler and
I love Mahler.
Benjamin Britten, Carl Nielsen. I mean, there's something for every type and style of music, whether it's chamber music
Mm-hmm.
There is a composer who stands out in my mind for me. Um, you know, um, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
What about how do you like Bruckner?
not so much.
No. What about Debussy?
It was a very curious man. I did my
Yeah.
senior uh, thesis on Bruckner, and
Uh,
he was a very odd guy. He was a nerd,
yeah.
had talent, but uh, he was just an odd bird, and he didn't know how to close a symphony. I mean, once I heard when I was like 15, I heard one of his. I think it was the Eighth Symphony. He's trying to write an ending, and so he began the last movement like it was ending. I know people are going to think, boy, what kind of idiot is this guy talking about Bruckner? But I I just don't. I don't get it.
You don't like his ending. He
And plus,
knows how to begin.
nah,
His symphony is usually very long, like an hour long, right?
at least.
Yeah.
But
So what is now, Michael? Tell us a little bit about your Grammy Award. You got
already.
many of them. Uh, what are those Grammy Award from? They're from what composition?
Oh, it's not a specific. It was a whole album of the year, jazz instrumental production with David Sanborn, and then that was in 79. First
Wow.
year, the first year we were nominated. I didn't go to the Grammy Award, and my friend Steve Hewitt called me and said, "Hey, you won, and you weren't here. Well, what's the matter?" So the next year, I got tickets and went because we were nominated again, and we lost.
Damn.
God damn! I had to sit there for 3 hours and clap for it.
And fake smile.
Yeah, and so I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Better to be humble.
Yeah.
And then the other, let's see, there was another Sanborn recording that won the instrumental song of the year.
Oh.
And then there was Hector Torres. He's a Latin jazz musician, and we were nominated for best jazz album, Latin jazz album of the year back in 2001 or it's another one. So none of them were in the classical area. They were all in the jazz.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see you have a very nice YouTube channel. Actually, do you have? Shall we watch a jazz excerpt
Jazz. No, I don't have any jazz.
on your
I
YouTube?
mean, no, there's lots of music
Yeah.
that have been posted by other people of some of the jazz songs, but
Oh, okay.
all they are is a video
Yeah.
of one still frame and then
Yeah.
the song plays, which I don't.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But there is a piece, if you want to.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Excuse you. Yeah. Should I go into your? You know what? I can just hold on.
I sent you a link to
Oh, okay.
the guitar piece.
Oh yeah.
Goyeska guitar
Oh
concerto.
yes, right. I loved it.
And I think there's a video link to that.
Yeah. I have that.
And
This is a video. Yeah.
yes, a video of Michael Andreacchio
Yeah.
performing the solo with the London Symphony.
Right.
Ira Levin conducting.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me, how long should I play? This is 7.
I don't know. It's
Okay. All right.
2 or
Just
3,
shut
4.
up. You can just shut up, okay? When you want me to stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Say stop. I'm introducing Michael Colina.
It has been an incredible experience. I don't even think that's the right word. Overwhelming, emotional event to sit here and make music and to listen to you wonderful people bring to life my music. You know, for a composer, it really just exists on a piece of paper until you sit with a fantastic orchestra like the London Symphony and a fantastic conductor like Ira, and then my soloist who must slave and at times love hate me for all the. Did you say I'm a kidney stone?
That's a phrase I use for what I call a tough passage. I call it a kidney stone.
A tough passage.
Because it's a tough passage.
And I think Anastasia had at least 2 kidney stones while working with me. Now, a slightly different question for you as the guitar soloist. Guitar is not used as much with orchestras as violins that are shrill and loud, and pianos. Let's not talk about pianos. How do you feel about that? Playing an instrument that's inherently soft.
I love playing that instrument that is inherently soft. However, I'll be the first to admit it is a treacherous minefield to put a guitar in front of a symphony orchestra, no matter how great the orchestra and how great the conductor. And the responsibility on the composer is enormous to make that work. And I must say, in the case of working with Michael, that he has been most accommodating for any changes and suggestions that are going to make this thing produce the result that we're all hoping for. Leonard Bernstein once said in the Harvard lectures, he said, every composer spends his life writing the same piece. I don't find that in this circumstance. And frankly, what little bit I know about all of your music, I've just learned so much about you through the Goya Scala and the Guitar Concerto. And I just think it is a wonderful work that just absolutely must find its way into the repertoire. So it's been a real thrill for me, privilege to be working with these great musicians, a fabulous conductor, incredible composer, and then all these wonderful technical support people that are going to make this happen. So it's been a process.
Is it good to stop here, or
Yeah.
should I go on?
Sure.
Good?
Yes.
Okay. That's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how long is the work? How many movements?
It's 3 movements. It's about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Guitar Concerto.
Yeah.
Michael Andreaccio and his wife,
Yeah.
Joanne,
Yeah.
are a wonderful guitar duo, and they teach and work around the United States, and they sponsor with Joanne Paletta and the Buffalo Symphony Orchestra a guitar competition every 2 years, and finding some enormous talent. It's up with the Buffalo Symphony. So
Yeah.
great people, great work, and
Great. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And how about I have one more question? We wrap it up.
okay.
So for people who are out there, like young people, anywhere between 17 to 23 years old, who wants to become a composer and to make it as a composer, make it a living, what is your advice for young people?
I would say make sure you that you get the real training that you need Today, there are many pathways to do that. You can do it at home. The tools are there. Composing tools like software and digital recording. Now, people are really creating a world out of their own natural resources and instincts. But I also think it's important to have actual training on how to play the keyboard, how to play the guitar, how to read music. I think it's essential, and it helps you stay in it, in the musical pursuit. I think it's important not to just go in for a year or two and see if you make it, but if you're going to do it, and do it for years, all your life if you can. That means you also have to be honest with yourself and have about your talent. That's the old Razor's Edge, Somerset Maugham's book about somebody being honest with a young artist. Do they have the gift or not? So you can't train the gift into you if you don't have the gift naturally. So
Yeah.
it requires some, self-awareness
Self-discovery.
and great mentors.
Yeah.
Great mentors.
Thank you.
So you've got to be kind of crazy to go into the music world, but it's out there to be had. I mean, I hear young people today writing and creating without any of the stuff I'm talking about. I just, here's the thing. I don't know how long they're going to last. And I think it's important to, one of my good friends, Joel Weinstein, my lawyer, told me, Michael, you don't want to just be a shooting star. You want to be the person that climbs the mountain and keeps climbing and keeps climbing, and not just go up and fall down. So that requires dedication and determination and a bit of madness.
Yeah. Thank you. Well said. I want to thank our audience has been with us all this time, and one of them is called Lost Melody Official. Is he or she says, that meaning you, does Michael have any advice on struggling composers with ideas?
With ideas. Yeah, I mean,
Struggling composers with ideas.
listen, I could have a conversation with that person
For another hour.
about this, but I've always noticed, and I was told that young composers sometimes have an excess of ideas and don't know how to weed them out and find that one idea that is the best one to work with and to nurture and to grow. So other artists have told me to all be willing to edit your work, be willing to throw things out that aren't the very, very best idea that you have. Okay, so
Right.
I mean, without knowing more context, that's about
Yeah.
what I got for you at this moment.
Thank you so much. I want to thank each one of you, Marsha, Quintet of America, Lost the Melody, and Robin. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Kathy and Jeffrey and Pam.
Yeah, and Dion, Marcina, there's our friend Catherine, Kathleen. Let's see,
Kathy.
who else? Yeah, Stavi, St, Steve.
Steve. Yes, of course.
Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, and please subscribe Juhl Media YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. And also, Michael Colina has a YouTube channel as well. So check that out. All this information is in the description below. And yeah, so we're going to closing this room, and we do this conversation with so and so artist or someone special every Wednesday. Sometimes we add on Fridays. So normally Wednesday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Today, Michael, you are my number 104 episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done 104 times.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yeah, since
All right.
pandemic, we said this. Okay, well, take care so much, and take care, and thank you for being here with us. And we'll see you soon. I want to hear your music live next time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.